In this video, dangerous levels of organisation. So the first thing to consider is which cars get a folder. And so far I've done the core members of the fleet. So that's Foxanne, Giselle and Myrtle, and of course Elly and Tuck, the air-cooled flat twins. We'll start with Foxanne because that was the first one I actually started writing up. And this is what I've got on the list so far. Front dampers, absolutely shot. Need to acquire some. Rubber bushes in the front end also need doing, and specifically it's these tie rods, if I can show you. Well, yeah, there's one. So these triangular sort of locating rods, that's not really showing up, but it's the bush in there is what needs replacing. I'm hoping that will sort out. I get a bit of a shimmy on the front end. I'm hoping that will sort that out. Choke cable still needs replacing. I've still got my manual choke cable in place. And clean interior. How long has that been on the to-do list? On the wish list side of things, this is less urgent. Tidy bodywork. It would be nice to do something about this. Miss HubNut wants to try her hand at fiberglassing. That might not be a bad place to start. But yeah, I mean, the interior on Foxanne is still disgusting because I've never cleaned it, other than cleaning the steering wheel, which has already gone mouldy again. I know these Volvo 340 seats someone fitted, very comfortable, but they are very dirty. And it might be nice to do something about this sick green paint as well, which is just awful. It's a horrible colour, and I'm not sure who painted it, but they didn't paint it very well. So that fits the history of this car. It has never been painted very well, ever. So yeah, that's the to-do list on Foxanne. Moving to the car behind her, Giselle the GSA, a really nice car, pretty good condition, so I haven't got a lot in here. She does need a service. It's probably about due, and I need to sort out a drive shaft leak. It's the offside drive shaft where it goes into the gearbox. There's a leak there, so there's a seal that needs replacing. I'm not sure if I can do that job. I don't know if special tools are needed. I need to do some investigation work, and it'd be nice to smarten the interior up a bit. The interior does not match the exterior of that car, so that's Giselle. Myrtle the Matiz was meant to be here today, but she currently isn't starting. I think it's probably rotor arm and distributor cap. I have new items to fit, but that takes us to the first item, which is service, and I was going to do that today, but I can't because she won't fire up. She hates damp mornings. At the moment it was a damp morning, so I need to wait for a dry morning, so she'll start again, bring her up here, try and sort out what's going on. She also needs some rear tyres. They're getting a bit low, and a compression check might not be a bad idea, just to see how healthy or not the engine is. I still feel it's not giving the full 50 horsepower it should be. On the wish side of things, the bodywork, the rear of the sills, I did a tidy up temporary repair 2 years ago, and it's all bubbling again and could do with a bit of work. And the stereo, it'd be nice to have a stereo that actually works, because the one fitted is some modern unit that, I mean, it'll work off an auxiliary, but it's not brilliant. Elly the 2CV, here she is. What's on your to-do list, Elly? Well, we've got, again, she's due a service, so I need to get that done. Been kind of waiting to sort the oil leak before doing a service, but I think I can now progress with that. That should be fine. Tidy bodywork. We've got a couple of issues. Now, one of them I do want to talk about because it's the paint here. And I have spoken to the person who painted this car, and the talk was to take it back and get it repainted. But I think that might not be the best plan, because under here, under this rear wing lip, this changes from this sort of paint to the U-Pole Raptor, and I'm very worried about how you'd get a tidy line to that, and I'm not sure. I'm personally tempted just to slap some filler on top of this to get the level back to where it should be, and just repaint it by hand. And but you know, you can see all around there are issues, but because this is off, water has got in, so I need to try and dry that panel out. But it has kind of left me wishing I'd hand painted this car originally, and then I could be less precious about it. It'd be a bit easier. But of course COVID has really restricted my ability to get this car back to the person who painted it. So I just think it's just going to be a lot easier if I just do something myself, and then I can just keep on top of it that way. It's why I painted these front wings. People are always telling me to polish Elly's front wings, but these are actually deliberate satin finish rattle cans, so that when I cause damage, I caused a bit down here actually, I can just get a rattle can out, repaint it, job's a good one. So I think that's the way to go with this car. She's never going to be a show queen. That was never the plan. I use her too much for that. So I think getting away from the paint being too professional might be an idea. So that's tidy bodywork. I need to reproof the hood as well. Us British folk call this item the hood. Not this. This is a bonnet to us. So if you're American and getting confused, that's what that's about. But it's a canvas hood made by Matte Soft Tops, fitted a long time ago. I'm thinking probably around 2004, 2005. So it's been there a fair while, and it's faded really quite badly. It was a really nice bright red at one stage in life. There's some of the original colour showing through, but it's still very good condition. So that needs reproofing, because there's a metal bar here and it's starting to rust, and I think that's because moisture is getting in. So that's to do. I've done that before, already got a reproofing video on the channel from some time ago. Salt wipers is still on the list. The wipers are behaving at the moment, but yeah, they're not perfect. I don't like the way they park. I've actually got the motor in slightly the wrong place, so they come down and then jump back up slightly, so I haven't got the parking right. I still need to sort that out. Incidentally, lots of people asking what this is about. This is a sticker from when she climbed the Chelsea Walsh hill climb back in 2017 now. That's a video where I slowly took her apart. I spoke to the clerk of the course and said, can I just take things off my car? And he said yes. So I removed all the panels that you can take off by hand easily. The bonnet, the rear doors, the boot lid, to try and lighten her and go up the hill more quickly. It wasn't timed, but it was good fun. So that's two of these cars have been up Chelsea Walsh. Check out the videos on those if you wish. They were both fun. So that's Elly. Now Took, on the other hand, she's got quite a list going on. I have put the last oil change date in. That's a current mileage, and 346 is the mileage on the clock. I can't remember these two numbers. Was it 29? I thought we'd already done 3,000 miles together, so maybe we're getting on for 4. I don't know. But there's a mileage milestone coming up. But I need to stop the oil leaks. I think that's leak now. I think it is just that rocker gasket that I've utterly failed to sort out. I want to check the transmission. I don't think the transmission is working perfectly. So I might clean the pulleys up. I might check the distance between the two pulleys. It's a CVT, and apparently that distance is critical. So we'll check that. Rear brakes are still a problem. I have my new cable for the front half of the handbrake mechanism. Here it is, the wrong way up. That's great. I was trying to I poured some oil in each end. I was kind of hoping it would. Yeah, that's great. This thing does not behave at all. Stay there. So that's got to fit, but there's another cable at the back which the rod pulls on, and I think that's sticking. The other day when I took her out, the rear brakes were slightly warm, not massively, but any drag in this car is going to slow it down, and she does feel feeble at the moment. Doesn't help we've got no side windows, so there's extra aerodynamic drag, but I think she should overcome that. The other issue on that car, of course, being that the distributor is seized in the block, so I can't get the ignition timing exactly where it needs to be, and I'm not sure what I do about that, to be honest. I've tried penetrating oil, I've tried heat, and the one time I tried violence, I destroyed her original engine, so I don't want to go there again. So that's brakes. Bodywork, fit the window might be a good thing to do. Repair cracks and repaint. I don't want to make Took immaculate. She wears her scars well, but there's issues. You know, here the paint is going through, and there's cracks that definitely need sorting out. The worst ones are around the back here, really bad one there, and again around the top, so I need to get the rear window out and properly get those sorted out. And also this engine cover has deteriorated very badly and is covered in oil because problems, and there's cracks down here as well. So I want to improve the body to make it structurally sound and make sure it doesn't degrade anymore, but I don't want to lose her shabby chic appeal, so I'm not going to go for a full respray. It probably will be a hand paint job, because that's what would have happened back in the day when they were service vehicles. They would have just been painting by hand, I imagine, perhaps roller if you were feeling particularly generous. So that's the plan for this one. It won't be the same blue as Foxanne, and it probably won't be household emulsion. I might try and use some coach paint or something of that nature. If you've got any suggestions for what might be a good paint to use on Tuk, do let me know. Of course, got to get the colour match just right. It's got to be that ministry blue. So that's on there. And indicator stalk, yes, the indicator stalk broke 2019, I think it was. I think I caught it on something, and the problem is it just naturally hangs back and keeps the main beam on if you've got the headlamps on. So I've had to wire in this to stop it, the main beam coming on. It's not the best solution. It does work though, so that needs sorting out. I may try and get this phone mount off as well. It's not very attractive. It got overheated one summer, the glue started melting, so I need to try and tidy that up a bit. But yeah, of course Tuk's been to Goodwood as well. She's had her own adventures, and that's where we are with the main cars on the fleet. If we just go up the back here, I haven't yet started on folders for these two. I don't yet know what's going to happen with them. This car needs properly assessing, my alt sit. It needs properly assessing to try and work out how we're going to proceed with it, whether it is actually savable. There is some truly horrific rot in the bulkhead and in the inner wing area because it had an underbonnet fire. It may not be savable, but I don't want to start stripping it down until I'm using it as a store at the moment, until I've had a better look at it. There's a rather gloomy insight into the incredible interior of this car. There's some bits of Rover here that need to go into Rover, and the Sana, the wiring discussions continue. I'm just not entirely sure how to proceed with this one either. Just need to give it some pondering time and try and work it out. I'm slightly baffled by the electrics on it. I'm not an electrician. So yeah, that one's kind of hit the buffers a bit. We'll see where we can go with that one. And the Charade is in for MOT probably next week. That will decide that car's future. I've prepared Miss HubNut for the fact it might be a horrendous fail. Not just because of the smoky engine, there's some rot around the back end as well. Her response was, I want to go to college and learn to weld. Like, okay, but that's not going to happen immediately. She's too busy with the home educating. So we need to tidy up and potentially get a dead Charade in here for a time. And that brings me to all this stuff. A lot of this is my personal stuff. Yes, there are some car parts in there, some car parts I really need to get rid of, and there's like half a 2CV as well, but I think I need to get some separate storage for all this stuff. I mean, I've got books, paperwork, there's even clothing and stuff in here. It all needs to go perhaps into a separate storage, a properly dry storage that isn't a barn, and that will give me a bit more room there as well. So whether I fill that with a Charade or start stripping the alt sit, one of the two will happen. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. So it's just a vlog post, mostly me talking, but I'm showing you the new regime. We'll see if it makes any difference at all. Will this organisation help? Already I'm finding working on the cars is much easier because I've got this as my this is my go-to toolkit. I'm filling it up with the useful tools that I use regularly, so I can have that near me when I'm working on the cars, and that seems to be making a good difference. I'm enjoying that. But I think it's time for me to probably have a more detailed think about what each car needs, and perhaps even start doing some work. We shall see. I'm wondering about getting Tuk up on axle stands so I can properly have a look at the rear brakes. And if she's on axle stands, I can't be tempted to take her for a drive then, can I? So yeah, maybe I'll crack on and do that, and you will see the results in a future video. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Farewell. Available at the HubNut store. Very reasonable prices.